There comes a time in every life when the noise begins to fade. Not all at once, but slowly, like a song losing its last notes to the wind. You don't plan for it. You don't expect it. One day the laughter in the next room grows quieter. The messages stop arriving as often. The phone rings less, and the world that once felt so full now hums in a softer tone. At first you call it loneliness. You wonder if something went wrong, if maybe you stayed still while everyone else kept moving. You replay memories in your head like old songs on repeat, trying to find where the rhythm changed. But in truth, it's not that life has abandoned you. It's that it's inviting you, quietly some to listen again. Not to the noise outside, but to the silence inside. That silence, it's not empty. It's the space where your heart begins to breathe again, where everything you've been running from, the regrets, the half-healed memories, the unspoken words, finally find the courage to sit beside you. And for the first time in years, you don't run from them. You let them stay. Because somewhere deep down you know this stillness isn't punishment. It's permission to start over, not as who you were, but as who you're becoming. The storm has passed, and though the sky is still grey, you can feel it. The quiet after the storm, when the air smells of new beginnings, and the heart begins to remember what peace feels like. It's strange, isn't it? How we spend so much of our lives building relationships, routines, identities, only to discover that everything, no matter how precious, eventually changes shape. There are days when the silence feels heavy. You look at an old photograph and realize that the person smiling back at you no longer exists. Not in the mirror, not in the world. You've both become ghosts of a time that cannot return. There are nights when you sit with a cup of tea, watching the steam rise and fade, and it feels like watching your own memories drift away. People who once knew you by heart have vanished into other stories. Dreams you once chased now rest quietly in drawers of what-ifs. It hurts, not because you failed to hold on, but because some chapters simply aren't meant to last forever. And yet, even in loss, there's a peculiar kind of grace. Because beneath the ache lies a whisper. Look how far you've come. Look how much you've endured. You begin to see that life has never really been about keeping everything you love. It's about learning how to love, even as things change, even as people leave, even as you stand alone in the middle of your own unfolding story. The truth is, we don't lose to time. We learn from it. Every goodbye, every silence, every ending, they carve space within us, making room for something new to enter. And though you might not see it yet, that emptiness you feel tonight is not the absence of love. It's the space where healing will begin to grow. Silence used to scare you. It felt like an empty room after everyone had left. Echoes of laughter fading. Footsteps gone, only your thoughts left behind. Pacing in circles. But over time you start to realize something. Silence isn't the absence of life. It's life stripped of distraction. It's not a void. It's a mirror. When the world grows quiet, you finally begin to hear yourself again. Not the version shaped by other people's expectations, not the one you performed to be loved, but the voice that has waited patiently beneath all the noise. It speaks slowly at first, uncertain, fragile, like the first bird testing its wings after winter. But the more you listen, the clearer it becomes. It tells you what you truly miss, what still matters, and what never did. You start noticing the little things again. The sound of rain against your window, the way sunlight spills across the floor, the warmth of your own breath in the morning chill. And one day, without realizing it, you catch yourself smiling, Not because anything grand has happened, but because in that quiet moment, you finally feel present. Silence. Once your greatest fear has become your oldest friend. It no longer asks you to escape. It asks you to stay. And in staying, you begin to heal. Because silence has its own language. A language of patience, of surrender, of peace. You don't master it by force. You learn it by listening and by letting go. There's a night, there's always one, when you sit beneath a dim light, and it hits you. You've mistaken loneliness for emptiness and solitude for sadness, when in truth, they are not the same. Loneliness is a hunger, the ache for someone to fill your silence. But solitude is fullness. It's the quiet realization that nothing essential is missing. In loneliness, you crave noise. In solitude, you hear meaning. It takes time to tell them apart. At first, every quiet evening feels like loss. Every unreturned message feels like rejection. But slowly, as you keep sitting in that silence, you realize that what hurts is not being alone. What hurts is the part of you that still believes you need someone else to make you whole. And that's when something subtle begins to shift. You stop begging for presence that doesn't stay. You stop reaching for hands that have already let go. You stop explaining yourself to people who no longer listen. Instead, you start making peace with the space around you. You fill it not with noise, but with grace. You learn to cook a quiet meal for one. You light a candle just because it's evening. You pour a glass of wine not to celebrate, but simply because you made it through another day with gentleness. That's not loneliness. That's dignity. And as you sit there, the world outside still spinning, you realize something powerful. You've spent years trying to be loved, but you forgot how to simply be. Now you remember. You remember what it feels like to breathe without waiting, to exist without performing, to wake up and not apologize for the quiet life you've built. This is solitude. Not isolation, but illumination. The space where you stop being haunted by what's missing and start being grateful for what remains. Healing doesn't announce itself. It doesn't arrive like a grand sunrise or a sudden revelation. It comes quietly, in the way your heart stops flinching at old memories, in the way you can finally breathe through the ache without breaking. You notice it one morning when you wake up and realize the first thing on your mind isn't what you've lost, and it's the gentle hum of a new day. Maybe you open the window. The air feels softer somehow. You catch the scent of rain on the soil, and you think, maybe the world hasn't stopped being beautiful after all. You start to see small signs of life again, not the kind that shouts, but the kind that whispers. The smile of a stranger at the cafe, the rhythm of your own footsteps on a quiet street, the comfort of a warm mug held between your palms. Tiny, ordinary things, the kind you used to overlook when you were busy chasing meaning everywhere else. And in those simple moments, you realize something profound. Peace was never gone. It was waiting for you to slow down enough to meet it. The light doesn't rush in. It trickles, one gentle beam at a time, illuminating corners of your soul you thought were gone forever. You begin to forgive yourself for the years you tried too hard, for the times you loved without being loved back, for the mistakes you made while trying to survive. There's a calm acceptance that takes root, not because everything is fixed, but because you no longer need it to be. You understand now that healing is not about returning to who you were. It's about becoming someone softer, wiser, and infinitely more at peace. The light has not only returned, it's learned how to live quietly within you. At some point you realize peace isn't found, it's chosen. Every day, in small ways, you decide what you allow to disturb your calm. You begin to see how much of your life was spent performing, trying to please, to prove, to be enough. And now that need feels heavy, like a coat that no longer fits. You start to crave different things, and not attention but alignment. Not more people but deeper presence. Not constant motion but meaningful stillness. So you begin to let go. Gently but firmly, you walk away from conversations that drain you. You stop explaining your quietness to those who only value noise. You choose peace even when it's misunderstood as distance. And the world will tempt you. It will try to pull you back into its rush, to convince you that stillness is weakness, that solitude means something's missing. But you know better now. You've lived enough to understand that some of the loudest lives are the emptiest, and some of the quietest hearts hold the deepest strength. Peace is not indifference. It's wisdom. It's the art of knowing what deserves your reaction and what deserves your silence. You stop seeking validation in places that don't value peace. You stop apologizing for protecting your boundaries. You realize not every message needs a reply. Not every storm needs your presence. Not every relationship deserves your energy. And in that clarity, you feel lighter, as if the weight of years spent chasing approval begins to fall away. You're not trying to escape the world anymore. You're learning how to live in it, gently, intentionally, truthfully. Peace becomes your rhythm now. You don't chase it. You breathe it. You don't perform it. You embody it. And the quietest truth of all is this: peace doesn't make life smaller. It makes it clear. It turns what once felt meaningless into something sacred. It reminds you that even in solitude you are never truly alone, because you have yourself, and that is finally enough. Rebirth rarely comes with fireworks. It doesn't arrive with applause or witnesses. It comes quietly, in the way you begin to enjoy your own company again, in the way you hum softly while making breakfast, in the way you smile at your reflection. Not because you look perfect, but because you finally look at peace. There's a calm joy in rediscovering yourself, not the version the world expected, but the one who survived every season, who walked through loss, stood in the silence, and still found the courage to love life again. You start noticing beauty in places you once overlooked, a cracked mug you still use every morning, the fading color of old photographs, the sound of the evening wind brushing against your window. They all whisper the same truth. You made it through, and like fine wine left to breathe, your soul has deepened, its edges softer, its essence fuller. You've aged not in despair, but in grace. You've learned that time doesn't just take things away, it refines what remains. That's the gift of living long enough to lose and still choose to love again. You no longer crave constant excitement. You crave depth. You no longer chase company. You cherish presence, yours most of all. And one day, sitting quietly by the window, you'll realize something that will stay with you forever. Peace isn't the absence of chaos, it's the confidence that you can face it and remain whole. You have become your own home. Not a house built from walls and windows, but from understanding, compassion, and patience. The world may keep spinning, but you found stillness within it. This is what it means to be reborn. Not into someone new, but into the truest version of yourself. Life, like wine, takes time. The longer it breathes, the richer it becomes, and so do we. The pain, the pauses, the goodbyes, they are not the end of your story. They are what give it flavor, depth, and meaning. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not behind. You are ripening, quietly, beautifully, and in your own season. And if tonight feels silent, remember, even silence ferments into wisdom. Even solitude can turn into grace. Let this be your reminder that your life doesn't need to be loud to be valuable or full to be meaningful. It only needs to be lived, with awareness, with softness, with gratitude. So pour yourself a glass of peace. Toast to every version of you that made it here. To the one who fell, the one who healed, and the one who is still learning how to bloom after the storm. Because you are, in every quiet way, strong enough to be happy alone and brave enough to begin again. Thank you for spending this moment here, for listening, reflecting, and simply being. If these words found a home in your heart, consider joining this space, aging like wine, where we grow gentler, wiser, and deeper together. One story at a time. Subscribe if you wish, and not for numbers but for connection, because sometimes the right words at the right moment can remind us that we are never truly alone. Until next time, take care of your peace, tend to your soul, and remember, like wine, you only grow more beautiful with time.